Hi guys, okay, so today we're going to be making fried pork chops and I'm going to be topping it with this delicious sausage gravy that I made from scratch. Okay, so if you'd like to learn how to make this, just stay tuned and follow this video. So fried pork chop is really delicious. It's really good paired with some yellow rice or even like some mashed potatoes, white rice, whatever you'd like to pair it up with. Here I'm serving it with yellow rice and some garlic green beans. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I did was I already washed my pork chops, so now I'm using paper towel to dry the pork chop and remove any extra water. Next we're gonna start seasoning it. Okay, so I'm seasoning it with some smoked paprika. Regular paprika works fine. Also, I'm also going to be using onion powder, garlic powder, salt, black pepper, and a little bit of ground cumin. So just add your seasonings and make sure your pork chops is very well seasoned on both sides. And once your pork chops is seasoned, we're going to start making a batter to dip the pork chops in before we fry them. So in one bowl I'm gonna beat a few eggs together, and in a separate bowl we're gonna mix a little bit of flour, black pepper, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika together. So mix it really well, and then we're gonna make our pork chops and first dipping it into the flour mixture. Make sure you dredge both sides, and then we're gonna dip it into the egg that we whisked earlier. Okay, so dip it in the flour, then dip it into the egg, and then we're gonna dip it back into the flour mixture one more time. Okay, so just make sure both sides of the pork chops is fully covered in the egg and then the flour mixture, and then you can rest them on a plate until you're ready to start frying up the pork chops. So next I'm gonna get a pot and I'm gonna put it on the stove over medium-high heat, and I'm gonna add in some oil. Once the oil is hot, I'm gonna add in the pork chops. We're gonna fry them on each side for about 4 minutes until it's nice and golden brown. Okay, so make sure your pork chops do not burn, so if you need to turn on your heat to like medium heat, go ahead and do so. And once they're perfectly fried on one side, you're gonna flip it to the other side and let it fry on the other side. And once they're finished cooking, you're gonna remove them. If you have a wire rack, place the pork chops on the wire rack. That way it stays crispy and it doesn't get soggy when you rest it on paper towels on a plate. Okay, so next we're gonna start making the gravy to go with the pork chops. So I'm using the same pot we used to fry the pork chops in, and I just left a little bit of the oil in the pot. You don't want to leave too much oil, just a little bit to cook the sausages. Okay, so to the oil I'm gonna add in the Italian sausage, and use your pot spoon to help break up the sausages into smaller pieces, and we're gonna let that brown and cook for about 10 minutes. You want the sausage to be fully cooked before we add any of the milk for the gravy. So while the sausage is cooking, I'm gonna season it a little bit, and I'm seasoning it with salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and you guys season your sausage and your gravy to your liking. Okay, so take your time and season up your sauce. All right, so once the sausage is brown and cooked, mine took about 8 to 10 minutes. Once it's cooked, we're gonna add in some chopped up onion and minced garlic to that. Then I'm gonna let that cook for about 2 minutes. I want the onions and the garlic to brown and caramelize. Once it's cooked, we're gonna add in some flour. Okay, so The flour is to thicken the sauce, so add in the flour, mix it into the sausage and the oil, and let that cook for about a minute to 2 minutes. You just want the flour to cook a little bit. So next I'm gonna add in the milk and use your pot spoon to mix everything together, and turn your heat down to medium low heat, and you want your sauce to thicken. Once it starts thickening, you can turn off the stove once it's thickened to your liking. And if it happens that your sauce gets too thick on you, you could always add in a little bit of milk to loosen it up. And also don't forget to season the sauce. So you can season it using the same seasonings we just used to season the sausages, and just make sure your gravy tastes right to your taste buds, okay? And once you're finished with your sauce, that is it, guys. That is it for the sausage gravy. And all that's left to do is to plate your pork chops and top it with the delicious gravy. Here I served mine using some yellow rice and some garlic green beans, and it was absolutely delicious. And as you can see, the pork chops is crispy and delicious. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. I hope you give it a try, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.